let's now talk about the religious imagination, okay? So this is the pyramids. It was built 2400 BCE, and today it's the same pyramids. All right, so these are the pyramids, okay? And there's a great mystery as to how these pyramids were built. And you might have on the internet heard silly explanations like aliens came and built the pyramids, okay? Or maybe the lost civilization of Atlantis gave the technology to the Egyptians to build the pyramids. And this is an example of confirmation bias. We think that we're smart and everyone before was stupid, okay? And what you'll learn in this class is that these people had an imagination that allowed them to build the pyramids. Okay, so I'm going to show you how they built the pyramids. All right, so as you can see, the pyramids are extremely complex structures, okay? And first of all, there's debate as to what the pyramid is. What are you taught in school what the pyramids are? What is it? Come on, you guys are taught all this in school, right? The pyramid is what? It's a tomb, right? Okay, guys, it's not a tomb. Okay, it looks like a tomb, but it's not a tomb. It's a temple, right? Okay, so how do they build the pyramids? So what happened was that they didn't have blueprints, they didn't have computers, but they had the imagination. So they could see the building of the pyramid in their heads. And what they did was they actually built it from the inside out. Okay? All right? So again, it's hard for us to imagine that they would do this because it's like, wait, you don't have a pen, so you couldn't write it down. You don't have a computer, so you can process all the information. They did it all in their heads. And that's the power of the human imagination. Okay? All right. And as you can see, it was a massive undertaking, huge organization. It took about 20 years and lots of people. And then the question then is, how were they able to organize in such a manner? And the answer again is empathy, the imagination. Someone had a vision, and this vision was so compelling that everyone knew exactly what part to play. Okay? Also, what's really important is that in school, you're taught that the pyramids were built because the pharaoh is God, and there's a tomb for the pharaoh, okay? That's really insulting to the Egyptian people. Like all cultures, the pharaoh wanted what's best for his people, okay? So the pharaoh would, in his lifetime, undertake a lot of public works projects, okay, including canals. Okay, so the pyramids were just a public works project, a temple. What's amazing about the pyramids is that we could not do the pyramids today, okay? Back to your point, we have computers. Guess what? We have all these machines, okay? And guess what? We cannot build the pyramids. Why? Well, because the way we work is different from the way they worked before. Let's go over the differences, okay? Ancient times, people had religious devotion. When they worked on a project like the temple, like the pyramids or whatever, the point was to bring heaven to earth, to bring God to earth, to create eternal peace. They felt that my dedication, my sacrifice would make my children, my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren all more prosperous, okay? That's why they worked so hard. Today, it's to make more money, okay? Second thing, vision. People back then had bigger brains, okay? Not bigger brains, but like stronger imagination. So in their heads, they were able to see the entire vision in their heads. And this vision was able to pass on to other people as well. It was almost like they had telepathy. It was almost like they could see the same thing, okay? The structure of the pyramid was designed in a way that people saw the same image and they worked towards that image. Today, we focus on something called top-down process-oriented management, okay? The idea here is, rather than work together, you just go and work a particular part. And then once you do that part, you go away, okay? So an example is maybe art class. Now, I'm not sure if you take art class, but you guys know, like, to produce a great piece of art, you stay in a room and you work really hard at it, okay? But in school, what do we do? Well, first thing we do is make you write a plan, right? And if you do the plan well, I give you 10%. Then after you do the plan, what do? You write the outline. Then you do a draft. Then you do an iteration, okay? You understand? We break it down into a process. And you think that this would lead to better results. It actually leads to worse results, okay? Because you're no longer focused on the vision, you just focus on the process. And that's why today, everything we do sucks, okay? I can give you the greatest computers in the world, and you really couldn't do the pyramids, okay? I can give you the best machines, the best computers, it wouldn't matter because you lack that vision. The last thing, and this is the most important, is when you have vision, when you have religious purpose, everything you do is careful, okay? You put your best effort into doing it because you're trying to create eternity. Today, you try to do the least amount of work for the most amount of pay, right? So the idea today is to do it as fast as possible, as cheap as possible to maintain a budget. Okay? So do you understand? It's not about how smart you are. It's about your purpose in working. It's about how you work. And that's why everything we do today is just crappy. Okay? All right. Let's go over some examples of tremendous human achievement. Okay? This is the Hagia Sophia. And this was built in 532 in Constantinople. It's still in Istanbul. You can actually take a plane, get on a plane, and fly, and it's still there, guys. Okay? This is a modern picture. So you can see the amount of attention and care put into architecture back then. Okay? Because it's about bringing heaven to earth, creating heaven on earth. This, and you can see inside how beautiful it is. Okay? And so every inch, every piece of the church is just beautifully constructed. Everyone who worked on it was working with the same vision and working with the same dedication. This is the Aachen Cathedral built in 1790, okay? And guys, this is what it looks like today. No different from what it looked like when it was first built. And guys, no one said this was built by aliens, okay? No one said this was built by the Atlanteans. So the idea that the Egyptians couldn't build the pyramids by themselves and had to rely on aliens, that's just a racist comment, okay? Also, Charlemagne, the first Roman emperor, the first Holy Roman Emperor, he's buried inside this cathedral, but no one's saying this is a tomb, okay? We all know it's a church. So the pyramids are a church, a temple to their gods. And once you understand that, then we can better understand how they built the pyramids, okay? Does that make sense? Okay, and this is what it looks like inside, okay? Again, this is today. You can actually get a plane, go to Germany, and go walk inside this church and see for yourself how beautiful it is. Back then, they put care and love into everything they did because they believed that what they did was to make a more godly spiritual world.